Have you seen the definition of gossip from Cambridge University? Gossip, noun. Someone who enjoys talking about other people and their private lives. She's a terrible gossip. More examples? I've just been talking to the girls downstairs and I have some delicious gossip. She always keeps me up to date with the latest gossip. Let's go for a coffee. I need to catch up on all the gossip. Notice anything about this definition? I'll get back to that in a minute. For now, here's my proposition. Women need to gossip more. Yes, more. But first, a couple of disclaimers. One, based on that Cambridge University definition, let's agree that gossip can be positive, neutral, or negative. In fact, they've done research that shows only about 5% of gossip is malicious. So when I say women need to gossip more, I am not talking about that 5%. But that leaves 95% to play with. Second, I'm primarily talking about real life interactions. There are a whole lot of other factors that come into play when dealing with the internet, mainly anonymity. So let's assume this applies mostly to real world situations. Okay, so let's gossip about gossip. Back to this definition. Did you notice anything? All the examples make women the gossipers. You may not have even noticed that, which is completely understandable because we, meaning society, have agreed to view gossip as negative and primarily done by women. And this is by historical design and, quite frankly, meant to shut us up. And so for this reason, I think it's time to reclaim the word gossip. It's time to bring it back to its original use and meaning, which was very positive and empowering for women, which kind of explains why it's been used against us. Not to mention, it's really hard to go on any kind of rebellion if your voice is being stifled. The word gossip dates back to the 12th century and comes from the Old English noun godsib, which is made up of the two words god and sib. Sib means akin or related and was used to describe a family friend or godparent of a child. Now, back in the day, like medieval times, a child's birth was a huge social event, and the female godsibs spent hours in conversation with the mother and provided moral support during labor. And this is how men started associating gossip with women. But at this point, it was still viewed in a very positive light. In the late Middle Ages, the term got used more broadly to describe women friends. These women hosted friendship meetings to talk and chatter about whatever had happened since the last time they'd met. They discussed all sorts of things, from life partners to political issues. But the moment they began to talk amongst themselves and gain some confidence and freedom was the same moment the patriarchy used it against them. By the 16th century, the meaning of gossip began to change and take an ugly turn. Women were expected to remain passive and submissive to not just their husbands, but to every male subject. Pretty quickly, women who were seen in groups became a target for hatred and angst. By the end of the 16th century, the word was literally being used as a weapon of war on women, especially the lower class. Widows, old women, and those abandoned by their husbands were banished for talking too much. Laws were even made against women who gossiped, nagged, or held friendship meetings. And to this day, gossip continues to be viewed primarily as a negative trait of women. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Women helping and protecting each other from the potential threats built into a patriarchal society threatens patriarchy. So those in favor of the patriarchy must label gossip as bitchy to turn women against each other. We need to reject this belief and reconnect the term gossip with its old school roots as a bonding agent for women. One of the reasons I want to take back the word gossip is because of a statistic I heard recently. Of the 7.1 million older adults living in poverty in the US, nearly 2 out of 3 are women. And that just hurts my heart. It really highlights how our society is not set up to support women in times of need, whether it's mothers during the P word or the fact that we start off at a disadvantage due to getting paid 80 cents on the dollar or less if you're a woman of color. I love the idea of using gossip as the starting point to create modern day villages. Imagine groups of intergenerational women forming tight-knit communities that serve as sources of support and strength throughout our lives. I mean, imagine! I have no idea how to start creating these modern day villages in real life, but I feel like doing simple things like reclaiming a word is a step in the right direction. When I was doing research on gossip, almost all of it viewed gossip negatively. I kept hearing the same suggestion over and over again, and I'm sure you've heard it. If you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all. Or, if you're going to gossip, only say good things. I'm going to say a hard no to those suggestions, because that's not how life works. Life has negative and positive things going on all the time. I'm not allowed to talk about negative things. That is manipulative and suppressive. I actually think if we were more open and honest in our interactions, there would be less need to talk about others when they aren't around. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how negative gossip can actually be useful. There is a secret Facebook group that you can only get into if one of the current members vets you and invites you in. And what this group does is share information on people they have either gone on dates with or been in relationships with, and they share everything. Names, phone numbers, pictures, addresses, whatever experience they had with them. And the point of this group is to warn women about predators out in the community so that should you come across one in your social interactions, you've been forewarned and you can run away.
Oh, hell no!
Actually, this is a great example of a modern day virtual village where women know what the deal is in patriarchal societies around victims and predators. And so we take things into our own hands and do things to protect ourselves and take care of each other. Another more superficial example, I was on a commercial shoot recently, and the commercial required that I walk through this room over and over and over again. It was basically going to be a 10-hour day of walking. And when the wardrobe person was dressing me, she handed me these heels that were about this high and asked if I was okay with those. And I was like, yeah, no, not okay with those. I don't wear heels in real life. Can't walk in those for 10 hours. So she found me different shoes and actually thanked me for being honest, because she said usually what people will do is they'll be like, yeah, it's fine. And then halfway through the day, they're literally dying of pain. Another actress who would also be walking in the commercial had mentioned to me that the wardrobe person had also given her heels this high and that she was really worried about wearing those. I told her, I was like, you got to go back there and tell her no, and tell her to find you another pair of shoes. So she reluctantly did, and the wardrobe person ended up handing her her actual shoes on her feet. They were these cute little flats, and she put those on and was able to wear those for the entire day. So my point here is that's all gossip, but all to serve a positive purpose. In one sense, taking care of each other. In another sense, a woman being able to take care of her body so she isn't suffering throughout a day of work. We need to rethink the role of gossip in everyday life. There is no need to shy away from it or be shamed by it, as long as we're not participating in that 5% category of malicious intent. There's actually a Stanford study that shows groups who allow the members to gossip sustain cooperation and deter selfishness better than those that don't. And groups do even better if they can gossip and ostracize untrustworthy members. Now, of course, this can be misused, but when it isn't, it can serve a very important function for groups in society. It's tied to accountability. Who's reliable? Who's trustworthy? Who's a cheater? These are all good things to know. I want to know. Here are some tips for how to be a better gossiper. 1, favor honest, open conversations. 2, listen well. 3, dig deeper. Ask questions, look at body language. Stay open to what may lie beneath the surface of what someone is sharing with you. 4, establish trust. Be reliable. Let your actions show you always have their best interest in mind. Successful gossiping is about being a good team player.
Hey! High five! High five! Meet me halfway! Come on, high five! High five! Yes!
So let's take back gossip for the collective good of women everywhere. If you're new here, definitely check out my midlife rebellion video to get a sense of the vibe and see if you want to hang out more. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm always grateful. And I invite everyone to gossip in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you say. Love you.